welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a topic that, well, it can really get under your skin, can't it? Especially if you're new to cats or maybe just starting in veterinary studies.
Definitely. We're talking about fleas on cats and kittens.
Exactly. Tiny little things, but honestly, they can cause some surprisingly big problems for our feline friends.
That's right. I mean, it ranges from just, annoying itching right up to quite serious health issues, especially for the really young kittens. They're just more vulnerable.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our plan today is basically to help you spot these little pests, figure out how cats even get them in the first place, and then, the important bit, look at safe and effective ways to, well, kick them out and keep them out.
Mm-hmm. Both from the cat and, crucially, from your home environment, too.
We want to make this, less daunting. Think of us as your guides through this, let's say, sometimes scratchy subject.
And fleas are super common, so don't feel bad if you encounter them. With the right info, you can absolutely handle it. Feel confident about tackling these tiny nuisances.
Right. So where do we start? How do we even know if our cat has fleas?
Yeah.
They're not exactly obvious, are they? So small.
No, they're not. The actual cat flu, Cynocephalides felis for being technical, but yeah, the cat flea is tiny, only about 1 to 2 millimeters long.
Wow, that's small.
Yeah, a dark brown, maybe reddish brown sometimes, and they have this flattened body shape, which, helps them just zip through the fur really easily.
Okay.
And they are fast movers, so spotting a live one, especially on a cat with dark fur, it can be pretty tricky. They blend right in.
Masters of camouflage, then. Okay, so if seeing the actual flea is hard, what clues should we look for?
Well, one of the biggest giveaways is something called flea dirt.
Flea dirt. Sounds unpleasant.
It kind of is. It's basically flea droppings. Digested blood. It looks like tiny black specks, almost like someone sprinkled ground pepper onto your cat's fur. You often see it near the base of the tail or maybe on their bedding.
Okay, flea pepper. So if we see this suspicious seasoning, what do we do?
There's a neat little trick, the wet paper towel test. Collect some of those black specks, maybe comb them out and put them on a damp piece of white paper towel or tissue.
Okay.
If they dissolve and turn reddish or reddish-brown, that's the digested blood. The pretty solid confirmation that fleas have been feeding on your cat.
Okay, little vampires leaving evidence.
Yeah.
Reddish-brown smear equals fleas. Got it.
Yeah.
What about the cat's behavior? Any signs there?
Oh, absolutely. Persistent scratching is a classic sign. Or maybe over-grooming, licking, chewing, biting at themselves way more than usual.
To the point of bald patches sometimes.
Yes, exactly. That can happen. You might also just notice they seem more restless, agitated. Or you might see actual skin irritation redness, little bumps, maybe even scabs from all the scratching.
Poor things. And what about kittens? You mentioned they're more vulnerable. Are the signs different for them?
For kittens, especially if it's a really bad infestation, you need to watch out for lethargy, just being really listless, and check their gums. If the gums look pale, that could signal anemia.
Anemia. From fleas.
Yes, from blood loss. Fleas feed on blood, and a tiny kitten just doesn't have much blood to spare. A heavy flea burden can literally be fatal. So pale gums, lethargy, and a kitten with suspected fleas, that's an emergency. Needs a vet right away.
Okay, that's really important to know. Anemia is serious. So we've got the clues. Scratching, that flea dirt test, maybe skin issues, or for kittens, lethargy. How do we actively look for them?
Right, you'll want to do a proper check. Part the fur systematically. Good places to focus are the base of the tail, around the neck and collar area, the belly, the groin, basically warm hidden spots.
Okay.
Look really closely for tiny dark specks and watch to see if anything moves. Honestly, using reading glasses or a magnifying glass can make a big difference if you have them.
Good tip. Get a close-up view. Anything else we can use?
A fine-toothed flea comb is your best friend here. Get one specifically designed for fleas. Then gently comb through your cat's fur, doing it over a white surface, like a paper towel or even in the bathtub.
Why the white surface?
So you can easily see anything that falls out or gets caught in the comb live fleas or that flea dirt. And have a little bowl of soapy water ready. If you trap a flea in the comb, dip the comb straight into the soapy water. The soap breaks the surface tension so they drown quickly and can't jump away.
Soapy demise for the fleas. Right, got it. Okay, so we know how to spot them. Now, how on earth do our cats get them? Especially if they never go outside.
Yeah, that's a really common question. And it's a myth that only outdoor cats get fleas. Indoor cats are definitely still at risk.
Really? My pampered indoor princess can still get infested. How?
Well, several ways. Direct contact is one. If they meet another animal, cat, dog, even wildlife like a mouse that got in that has fleas, the fleas can just hop over. They are incredible jumpers.
I heard something like 200 times their body length.
Something like that, yeah. Olympic-level jumping. So even a brief encounter can be enough.
Wow. Okay. What else?
Visiting places where other animals have been. Think the vet's office, a groomer, a cattery, even moving into a new apartment or house.
Wait, a new house.
Flea pupa, that's the cocoon stage, can survive in the environment like in carpets for months, dormant, waiting. If the previous occupants had pets with fleas, those pupae could still be there, ready to hatch when your cat arrives.
Ooh. Tiny environmental time bombs. That's creepy.
Mm.
Any other routes?
We can bring them in ourselves. Fleas or their eggs can hitch a ride on our shoes, our clothes.
Seriously, we're the taxi service.
Yep. Or another pet, like a dog that goes outside, can bring them in, and then they hop onto the cat. And don't forget wildlife near the house. Raccoons, possums, stray cats, if they hang around your porch or under the house, they can leave fleas behind too.
Okay, so they're really quite insidious. They find ways.
They do. And understanding their life cycle helps explain why infestations can be so persistent. It's not just the adults on the cat.
Right. You mentioned pupae. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so the adult flea lives on your cat, feeds and lays eggs. Lots of eggs. But these eggs aren't sticky. They just fall off the cat.
Into the carpet, the sofa, the cat bed.
Exactly, wherever the cat spends time. Then these eggs hatch into tiny larvae in the environment. They don't like light, so they burrow down into carpets, under furniture, into cracks in the floor. They feed on organic debris and, crucially, the flea dirt that digested blood dropped by the adults.
Okay, so the environment gets seeded with eggs and larvae.
Correct. Then the larvae spin a cocoon and become pupa. This pupal stage is the really tough one. The cocoon protects them, makes them resistant to many insecticides, and they can stay dormant inside it for weeks, even months.
Months. Wow. Waiting for what?
Waiting for the right signals that a host is nearby. Things like warmth, vibrations, footsteps, and the carbon dioxide an animal breathes out. Those trigger them to hatch almost immediately into hungry adult fleas, ready to jump onto the first warm body that passes.
So that's why you can treat your cat, think you're clear, and then suddenly have fleas again weeks later.
Yeah.
The pupa were just hatching out.
Precisely. And our homes, especially with carpets and central heating, create this perfect year-round breeding ground for them. It's why flea prevention really needs to be a year-round thing, not just summer.
And the highest number of these eggs in pupa will be where the cat hangs out most.
Absolutely. Pet beds, favorite chairs, under furniture, along baseboards. Those are the hot spots.
You mentioned vibrations triggering hatching. Is that why sometimes people come home from vacation to find their house suddenly crawling with fleas?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
The house has been quiet, the pupas are dormant. Then you come back, start walking around, creating vibrations, breathing out CO2. It's like a dinner bell. And suddenly you can have a mass emergence of adult fleas.
Okay, that is genuinely horrifying. A tiny, itchy horror movie scenario.
Right.
So we know how they work, how they hide. Let's get to the battle plan. How do we get rid of them?
It absolutely has to be a multi-pronged attack. You cannot just treat the cat and expect the problem to go away because of all those life stages in the environment.
Right, the 95% that aren't on the cat.
Exactly. So you need to treat the cat, yes, but you also need to treat the home environment. And sometimes maybe even think about outdoor areas if relevant.
Okay, so let's break that down. Starting with the cat, what's step one?
Step one, honestly, talk to your vet. Seriously, they are the best people to recommend the safest, most effective product for your specific cat, especially crucial if you're dealing with kittens or a pregnant or nursing cat or a cat with other health issues.
Because not all products are suitable for all cats.
Correct. And veterinary prescribed products are generally tested more rigorously and are often more effective than over-the-counter options. Plus, your vet knows your pet.
Makes sense. Now, a really important warning I've heard. Never use dog flea products on cats.
Absolutely critical. Never, ever do that. Many dog flea treatments contain permethrin or similar chemicals. These are extremely poisonous to cats.
Poisonous how?
It can cause severe neurological signs, tremors, seizures, and can even be fatal. Even just a cat grooming a dog treated with a permethrin Spot-on or sleeping in the same bed can be enough to cause toxicity. Only use products specifically labeled for cats. Read the label carefully.
Okay, message received loud and clear. Cat products for cats, dog products for dogs. So, what kinds of cat treatments are there? Seems like a lot of options.
There are quite a few main types. Topical Spot-on treatments are probably the most common. Those little vials of liquid you apply to the skin on the back of the neck.
Why the back of the neck?
So the cat can easily lick it off. These products get absorbed into the skin oils or bloodstream and kill adult fleas when they bite or come into contact. Many also contain insect growth regulators, or IGRs.
IGRs, what do they do?
They mess up the flea life cycle. They prevent eggs from hatching or stop larvae from developing into adults. So they tackle future generations too. Very useful.
Okay, Spot-ons. Good option. What else?
Oral treatments, tablets, or sometimes liquids you give by mouth. These get absorbed into the cat's bloodstream. When a flea bites, it ingests the medication, which kills it or stops it reproducing. Some kill fleas very quickly.
Pills or liquids. Might be easier for some cats than Spot-ons, maybe?
Could be. Depends on the cat. Then there are also injectable treatments available from the vet. These usually work more like long-lasting IGRs, preventing egg viability. But they typically don't kill adult fleas, so you often need something else alongside them initially.
An injection for flea prevention. Interesting. What about older methods like shampoos or sprays?
Flea shampoos can kill the adult fleas on the cat at the moment you bathe them, but they have very little residual effect. As soon as the cat's dry, new fleas jumping on won't be killed.
So not a long-term fix.
Not really, no. Although bathing with just plain warm water, maybe a tiny bit of very mild soap like Dawn dish soap, can be a safe way to physically remove fleas from very young kittens under supervision. For older kittens, maybe over 12 weeks, some medicated shampoos are okay, but check the label. Flea sprays for direct application aren't used as much now, but some specific pump sprays with fipronil might be licensed for very young kittens again. Always check the product details and vet advice.
Okay. And flea collars, powders. We still see those everywhere.
Traditional flea collars, generally not the most effective overall. They might kill fleas near the collar, but don't offer great full body protection. Some can cause skin irritation too. A crucial safety point. Any collar on a cat must have a quick release safety mechanism in case they get caught.
Good point. Safety first.
There are some newer veterinary prescribed collars that work differently, releasing medication systemically, and those can be effective. But the standard ones, less so. Flea powders are messy, don't last long, and only kill adults. Not really recommended for tackling an infestation.
So it sounds like for most adult cats, the vet-recommended Spot-ons or oral treatments are generally the way to go.
For effective and lasting control, yes, often they are, but always based on the vet's assessment.
Now, let's circle back to those tiny kittens under 8 weeks old. You said most products aren't safe. What can we do? It sounds scary with the anemia risk.
It is really important to be careful. If you have a kitten that young with fleas, the absolute first step is veterinary advice because of that anemia risk. Seriously, call your vet.
Okay, vet first.
For at-home care for under 8-week-olds, safe options are limited to physically removing fleas. You can bathe them very carefully in warm water. Like I said, maybe a drop of mild dish soap like Dawn, avoiding the face entirely, rinsing really, really thoroughly, and keeping them warm afterwards.
Okay, gentle bath.
And frequent, careful combing with a flea comb. Multiple times a day if needed. You're just trying to reduce the number of adult fleas feeding on them. But remember, this isn't killing eggs or larvae, so it's an ongoing battle until they're old enough for proper treatment. And always, always read labels for age and weight restrictions.
Crucial advice for the little ones.
Okay.
We've treated the cat, hopefully with the right product for their age and situation.
Right.
But that's only half the job, right? The house is still full of flea life stages.
Exactly. That 95% we mentioned, you have to treat the environment to break the cycle. And then the number one weapon here is your vacuum cleaner.
Vacuuming? Really?
Absolutely. Vacuum thoroughly and regularly. Carpets, rugs, under furniture, cushions, hardwood floors, cracks, crevices, everywhere. This physically removes a lot of eggs, larvae, and even some pupa.
And the vacuum bag.
Crucial point.
Yep.
Empty the vacuum or dispose of the bag immediately afterwards, preferably outside the house. Otherwise, the fleas can just hatch inside and crawl back out.
Right. Don't want a flea nursery in the vacuum cleaner.
And interestingly, the vibrations from vacuuming can actually stimulate pre-emerged adults inside pupa to hatch. So vacuuming before you use an environmental spray can make the spray more effective because more adults are exposed.
Ah, strategic vacuuming.
Okay.
What else for the house?
Wash everything washable that the cat comes into contact with. Bedding, blankets, throws. Wash it all in hot water, ideally 60 degrees Celsius or 140 Fahrenheit with your usual detergent. The heat and soap kill all stages.
Hot wash cycle. Got it. What about sprays for the house?
Yes. Household flea sprays designed for carpets and furniture are usually necessary. Look for products that contain both an adulticide to kill adult fleas and an IGR. to stop eggs and larvae developing.
Okay, that two-pronged approach again.
Exactly. Concentrate on the areas where your cat spends the most time: their beds, under furniture, along baseboards. Follow the instructions on the can very carefully regarding ventilation and keeping pets and people out of the treated area until it's completely dry. Never spray these directly on your pet.
Safety first, ventilate well, keep pets away till dry. What if it's a really bad, persistent problem?
For really severe infestations that you just can't seem to get on top of, calling in professional pest control might be the best option. They have access to different products and application methods.
Okay. And briefly, what about outside? If the cat goes out or wildlife is an issue?
Outdoor treatment is trickier. There are some products for yards focusing on shady, moist areas where fleas like to hang out, maybe where stray animals rest. Keeping the grass cut short and clearing debris can help make the environment less hospitable for them too.
Okay, makes sense. So treat the pet, treat the house, maybe manage the yard. Any other key things to remember in this flea war?
Yes, definitely. Always treat all pets in the household, all cats, all dogs, even rabbits if they share the space on the same day. Use species-appropriate products for each one, of course.
Right. Otherwise, the fleas just hop from the untreated pet back onto the treated one.
Precisely. Also remember that fleas can transmit tapeworms. When a cat grooms and swallows an infected flea, they can get tapeworms. So your vet might recommend deworming treatment alongside flea treatment.
Good point. Fleas bring friends.
Unwanted friends, yes. And never combine different flea products without checking with your vet. Some ingredients don't mix well or could increase toxicity risk. And finally, those home remedies you see online with essential oils, citronella, tea tree, eucalyptus, generally best to avoid them for cats. Many essential oils are toxic to cats, and they're usually not effective flea treatments anyway.
Stick to the vet-approved stuff. Got it. So it sounds like flea control is definitely an ongoing process, not just a one-off treatment.
That's the key takeaway, really. Because of that resilient pupal stage, it can easily take 3 months, sometimes longer, of consistent treatment of the pet and environment to fully break the life cycle and eliminate an infestation.
3 months. Wow.
Which is why prevention is so much easier, less stressful, and often cheaper in the long run. Using a good preventative product year-round is the ideal approach.
Okay, so recapping. We've covered spotting fleas and flea dirt, the sneaky ways cats get them, even indoors, and the absolute necessity of a combined approach, treating the cat safely and thoroughly, and tackling the environment with vacuuming, washing, and appropriate sprays.
Exactly. Treat the pet, treat the home. Consistency is key.
And critically, always involve your vet, especially for kittens or tricky situations.
Couldn't agree more. And it's really important for everyone listening to remember, this discussion is for educational purposes. It's not a replacement for professional veterinary advice.
Absolutely. Your own veterinarian is the best resource for diagnosing any issues and recommending the right treatment for your specific cat's health needs.
Please always consult them for any health concerns.
Well, thank you for diving deep into the itchy world of fleas with us today. We really hope this has armed you with some practical knowledge and maybe made the idea of tackling fleas feel a bit less overwhelming.
Yes, hopefully it's helpful. And again, if you have specific worries about your cat, your vet is the person to call.
Definitely. And maybe we can leave you this final thought. Fleas are a common hassle, no doubt about it. Yeah. But really understanding how they operate and being proactive with prevention and treatment, that makes a huge difference to your cat's comfort and health. A flea-free cat is definitely a happier cat. Until our next deep dive,